just going to be Warren DeMartini on that track. And that's a tune that I had where at one time, I remember it was probably like 1989 or 1990, maybe. Warren was living in this apartment in Los Angeles, this place that was called, I think it was called the Granville. I guess his house was under construction or something. So he was living in this apartment. And I went over there and we had made a little demo on a 4-track, I think it was, that he had. And the riff and the whole song Helpless was the tune that I brought over there. And he had played a solo on that, and he played so well on that song. When I actually did the recording in the studio, I said, you got to come and play a solo like the one you did on this little demo. So that was what we set out to do. But when I was recording Staying Alive, I had a lot of different guest guitar players that were on that song, and Warren played on that song as well, as did Zakk Wylde. But Zakk, being Zakk, he was at the studio and he's like, what else can I play on? And I was like, I don't know. And so we just opened up some tracks on Helpless and we let him play on that, which he sounded great on, but it was during the same time as Warren's solo. So we had to cut the part and duplicate it so that we could have Zakk play and have Warren play. So that section was never originally in the song to be a doubled solo. You had to, at that time, use razor blade edit and take that part and then extend it. So that's what exists for that. I was into it. I was way into baseball at that time. And I used to watch all the games that were on TV. Like, I used to love it when there were day games on WGN, the Chicago station, because they would play the daytime Cub games from Wrigley Field. And I would just love to see all that, you know, come home from school, or even if I was home from school because I was sick or something, TV would be like, oh, you get to watch I Dream of Jeannie, Gomer Pyle, the Brady Bunch, and a bunch of other things, and then baseball. So I was like, this is the best, you know?
Well, that focus has always been carried over clearly in your guitar playing there and your music. So
yeah,
you center focused, one mind.
Well, I you know, if I got into something, I like to learn what it was about and then try to figure out how I could do that, but then also what it could do under my own circumstances. Like, how, if I wanted to change something or use that as an influence, where was it going to go from there? And that's always been an interesting thing to try to work out in my own guitar playing.
It does feel like you do that.
Even the other day, I picked up the guitar for the first time in months, and I played something, and it was this really simple thing. And I realized I had never, ever tried it before. And I was like, how is it that I've never tried playing this after all these years? And it was just, every so often, I'll have one of those moments where I'll just realize that I've, you know, after all these years of playing things, there will be something new that happens. But this was something that was so simple and so specifically simple that I was like, why have I never done this before? And I would have to get a guitar, you know, which I could do. I could just grab one right now and show you what it is. Because it's, I'll just do it. Hold on. If I wanted to play, you know, like a bent note, like something like this, I'm going from this note and I'm holding this note at the same time. So, but I would be bending. So that I had done before, but what I hadn't done before was to start with this note here and then not start here, but start here and bend from here, which is different than, so I was just doing this half step bend.
I like that.
I was thinking, wait a minute, there's a few of those that I could do in other spots, like, And then I was like, why haven't I done that before? I could get some cool things out of that. I could make the guitar sound super drunk, you know, and it's just little things like that that then start a whole new idea for what could be possible for other things, you know. And then I ended up playing guitar for about 15 or 20 minutes, looking for all these places where I could do half step bends and have another note that stayed